Let's begin, yo. Do,
And we've
do, do,
begun.
do, 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 do. You know that song? You're gonna have a good day. It's great. And all
I
my
believe
homies
you.
gonna ride today.
Oh, that song.
Yeah, right?
Does
That
that make
song's,
you have a good day? Do you do what the song
yeah.
was?
Tuesday, yeah. I got a
Day
feeling.
and Thursday.
Friday, Saturday,
Saturday
Saturday, and
and
Sunday.
Sunday. And then they go
That
like
song?
la la
Oh
la
my
la la
gosh.
la la.
It's keep
La
it
la
up.
la
You
la
know what
la
we
la.
say. Party every day, party every day. That song?
I Are you gonna tell the story? I remember being in like you were probably like in 6th grade. I was probably
8th
like in
grade. It
3rd
was
grade.
8th grade for us.
No, but
It
this
was
is separate.
oh.
Where somebody like came to your school, Jackson, and did like a performance where they're like, "I like
Oh.
reading every day," like whatever. They did the stupid like little library cover, and I remember you coming up to me and being like, "Adeline, it was like really good. Like it was like a really good cover of it." I was like, "Okay, Jackson."
But that
That
song didn't
did
exist
happen.
until we were in 8th grade. I remember because it was so hot when we were in 8th grade. Like it was a
Which is the perfect place for it.
yes, arts art school. I love elementary school programs. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, there we go.
Yes! That's so good. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah,
Top
bookography.
tier book choreography.
I love that. I love it.
I just have this distinct memory of you like coming up to me and like telling me that, but like with the energy of like it was really good. Like it was cool and good and I liked it. I'm like, okay, Jackson.
Well, mhm.
I
That
was in like
song
4th grade, so
I remember, like, my stepbrother has recently told me that he remembers me telling him that I thought the band Fun was horrible and he was stupid for liking it, and I was like, "That I think you're misremembering that
I
because
don't
that
know,
doesn't."
I believe it.
No, but that doesn't sound like he's like, "You told me that if because I like Fun, that I was a stupid idiot and blah blah blah," and I was like,
And
"That
blah
doesn't
blah
sound."
blah.
But like that doesn't sound like something I would say. That sounds like something you would say. Like I don't
You
talk like
elitist
that.
prick.
Yeah, but like I probably said like, "Oh, I like this song a little more than the other one." Is probably what I said. And
What?
that turned into you're an idiot for liking Tonight by Fun. I was like,
What
I
happened
probably
to
said,
Fun? They
"Oh,
absolutely vanished off the face of the
no, no, no,
planet.
no, no. Jack Antonoff made his own band. That's what happened.
But what is that band?
It's the Bleachers. They just came out with a new album like today.
Oh, I didn't know that. I guess they
Get
didn't
wrecked,
vanish off the
Adeline.
face of the planet. Oh, I'm stupid and I don't like Fun. Oh no, I'm the idiot.
I don't like Fun, but I love Bleachers.
Yeah. Ah.
Reading's fun. I just finished a whole chapter.
So we have Minecraft music and then there's reading music and they're both
Yeah.
both really big in like 5th grade.
I just read a book to a 3rd grader
Just for
recently.
fun.
So that's such a joke.
You're just
But
quiet.
they had
It's
a
his Leo energy. He's just quiet.
just
You know how
quiet Leo
quiet Leos
energy.
are?
It's
Testing.
Leo
There we
season,
go. I'm
so
back.
Mhm.
you
And it
know.
sucks you guys couldn't
No,
hear
it's
my good
because
riffs about fun and libraries and
it's
reading.
because your retrograding moon is just a little bit quiet.
Just
You know,
turn
you're
the
a little
volume
quiet
up. Go
too.
back and turn the volume
You
up,
sound,
idiots.
Adeline, you are not well versed enough to be able to bullshit about
The
astrology.
bullshit my way.
You sound like a
Yeah, I
dickhead.
don't fucking know. Well, that's the joke, is that I sound like a dickhead.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
I'm
at,
doing
it's
that
at the
on
expense of
purpose.
me. If you haven't, go vote. I have a bunch of polls out right now on our Twitter
We need those
on
stats.
War for the Planet of the Apes. I want to see who would win the war. I have the apes pitted against each other.
Ooh.
Individually.
Okay. I know we said we wanted to keep the stream a little bit shorter this time, but I have stumbled upon a playlist called Reading (parodies). So, you guys, I'm just gonna send you a link. You can watch it on your own time. You won't be able to hear it, but I'm just gonna play for the stream all about those books.
No.
What do you think it's gonna be? Okay, so but let's make a prediction.
I'm all about
Okay,
those
all
books.
about
Those books. No
No.
TV.
No TV. You think it'll be no
all
TV?
about those books. About those books, not TV.
No sinning.
No sinning. Maybe it's no smoking.
I think
That
it's
would be
pretty
real good.
clear. We're reading Hop on Pop.
You know, my mom, she told me guys like girls with a good book. I don't remember how all about that bass goes, which is a problem. So I think I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage
I listen
already.
to that song a lot because they cover it on Glee.
Right.
They surely did.
Yeah.
Because
They
you
really
know
did.
I'm all about those books, Start reading.
The more
Start?
that I like
Okay,
about
wait, sorry, I should have warned you I started
Start
it.
reading.
I
I'm
saw
all
you
about
love
those
it.
books, Start reading. I'm all about those books,
I like mine
about those
more.
books. Yeah,
like
it's
no
pretty
smoking.
clear that I'm really cool because I'm reading,
When they get to the verses,
It's what I
you
like to do
know.
because I got that fiction that everyone's chasing. All of these books take you so many places.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I don't know if I can sustain this. we need to
Are
all.
there
Children
Sustainable?
singing?
It's teens, definitely.
Oh, teens.
Teens who are like, being told by their parents that they need to volunteer with their
Well, it's that-
talents.
It's that weird thing where it's like when you want kids to do something, you make teens do it, even
Yeah.
though the teens are not doing it.
Right. Let's see. We got.
It's like on every single Nerf gun,
fun.
it's always like at least a 17-year-old man with a Nerf gun, and you're like, this is for 6-year-olds.
Yeah, but let's take a look at some of these titles. A parody of Rolling in the Deep called "If You Love to Read."
Oh, and I do.
A parody of Happy called "Reading."
Because I'm
That's
reading.
lazy. That's
Oh
lazy.
my god.
That's lazy.
I
We
know
got.
exactly what that is.
Here's my favorite: Book Loose.
That one. I don't know what that one
Book
is actually. Wow.
we
wowie,
got-
wowie.
Read It Maybe. Parody of Call Me Maybe.
Read. Oh, I was thinking like beat it. Read
Maybe.
it. Just
Yeah.
read it.
I'm sure that's one. I'm sure
Uh,
that is one.
A parody of Uptown Funk called Hit the Books. I'm not sure how that fits.
Hit the books.
Uptown.
Hit the
books.
books. Hit the books tonight.
Because Hit the
Yeah,
Books gonna
The
give it to
books
you.
tonight.
Uptown Book would have been better.
Uptown book. Uptown book.
A
You've been
parody,
reading in a
Yeah.
little nook
a parody of Roar.
about
Called-
that book.
Parody of Roar called, you guessed it, Read.
Read.
And you're gonna,
gonna
see
hear
me
me.
read.
You're gonna
It's
hear
about
me read.
somebody who can't
out
help but
loud.
read out loud, like under their
Well,
breath
they're
while
just
they
like,
read.
no, not that. They're just like flipping the page really loudly and going, PETA.
Yeah, you're like, wow, cool, you're a reader.
No way! Just
Amazed.
every page. They're
Uh,
reading the Hunger Games. That's also another detail of it.
Hunger Games is good.
and then
I love Hunger Games.
I like big books. From
Yeah,
Down
that
Middle
one's-
School.
that
Big
one's-
books and I cannot
That
lie.
one's dangerous.
That
The
is
Great
dangerous.
Gatsby can suck a dick.
They
Too
do
short.
that where they
Too
try to
short.
like make Christian version. There was that girl that everybody destroyed on the internet who tried to make a Christian version of Montero. And it's like, I just don't understand the thought process, because even if you're like, oh, I'm trying to cleanse it and make it better, it's like you're still encouraging people to listen to the original in some way. You are
Right.
referencing the original in some way. So not only was it bad and weirdly about praying and still about getting down on your knees, everyone's like, you didn't make this less less anything.
I mean, I don't know. Did they say for certain that they were trying to be like, we don't like Montero, or were they just like, we're Christians and we think Montero is fun, so we're gonna do our own
I think it's
version?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Where they were like, we know it's like, you guys can read Harry Potter, but you gotta know that it's about Satan. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, we're not mad at him, but he is doing a sin.
I've been
what
asking.
I do is if like middle schoolers ask to play a song that I know that they're not allowed to play, I'll make them listen to the Kids Bop version.
Right,
There
right.
you go.
Highly recommend the Kids Bop version of Thank You Next because they take out all of the names. They're like,
really?
thought I'd end up with him, but it wasn't a match. Thought I'd end up with that guy. I don't know. And then because there's that part where she goes, because her name is Ari, but they say, because her name is my name. And it's gonna last.
I mean,
so
I guess
you're supposed to fill in the blanks with your own life.
Right.
It's interactive.
It's so funny. Though.
I was thinking more like maybe they don't want the kids to be making fun of each other or like teasing each other about being in the song. That would be my impulse.
I don't know. I guess. Also, Lizzo's what's that one called?
Oh, yeah.
Truth Hurts.
Truth Hurts. Yeah, because they say you could have had a good friend, non-committal.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I don't know why you want your friends to be non-committal.
That's the worst. That's a bad friend.
Help you with your Minecraft, just a little.
Yeah.
I keep talking to Anna about Old Town Road.
You just keep talking to her. You don't stop.
But like, I just think it's a
about Old
really
Town Road.
funny bit to like get into Old Town Road now. Like
Yeah.
suddenly be really excited about Old Town Road.
You're like, have you guys heard this song?
It's like
But
country
is it
and
the
hip hop.
Mason Ramsey version?
Yeah, the Mason Ramsey version. Jesus.
That's the only version in my
Yeah.
book.
Because
I love Mason Ramsey.
he features on one of the remixes.
On
right?
one of them.
Yeah,
the good one.
The best one.
Screw you, Billy Ray Cyrus. You're nothing compared to Mason Ramsey.
Did you hear
and
about
I mean
this?
That.
I guess there was a whole controversy about it being on the country charts and like it's all about like riding on a horse, but it's kind of a hip hop song. It's crazy. I'm gonna take
What's
my
so
horse
funny-
to the Old
I
Town
think
Road.
kids would like this.
Right? Yeah.
Like it. Kids really like it. What's so funny about the whole Lil Nas X thing with like Montero and everyone's being like, "Well, how could you let your kids listen to this?" It's like your kids should not have been listening to Old Town Road
Probably
either.
not.
You just got distracted by the fact that he talks
Yeah.
about riding a horse, that you forget that he's also talking about like having sex with everybody in town. That
Yeah.
you just like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Kids
ride
should
till I
also-
can't no more.
You should listen to Cake by the Ocean either, but here we
Yeah.
are.
By the
Not be
ocean.
listening to
You're like,
Cake by the
Oh.
you're eating dessert at the beach.
Watermelon sugar.
I miss Cake by the Ocean. Those were good times. Let's go back to Cake by the
I'm not
Ocean.
gonna lie, it's a good song.
Oh.
It is about ass cheeks just being out on the beach.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What do you have against
Ass
ass cheeks?
Nothing. I'm just saying that our young impressionable
Yeah,
youth
it's
do
just
not need to
funny.
know what an
Yeah.
ass cheek is.
Moves Like Jagger was probably the worst one of those.
Oh God.
Yeah, because it wasn't like I know like it's the opposite. What's the opposite of nostalgia goggles? That I hate that thing because
Right.
it's old. I don't know if it's that, but to me that song just sucks
Yeah.
so bad. Like, and I don't know if
Anna's
it's just like
mom
I'm older
loved
now, but
Yeah, I know. That was a whole
Like-
thing in high school
I
about
don't know.
A
about
lot.
Anna's mom
no one
loving
did.
Moves Like Jagger.
And, like, does she
here's
know?
the thing. No, okay. I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before, but I am a missionary of the truth. That song is about cunnilingus, and people don't realize it because
Yeah.
Mick Jagger was not known for his dance moves. He was known for his very articulate tongue, his large tongue, right? Your moves like Jagger are not your dance moves. They are your pussy-eating moves.
They are your Porky Pig
Missionary of the truth.
moves.
Yeah.
He said he's a missionary of the truth, everyone. He said that about Moves Like
Moves Like
Jagger,
Jagger.
by Maroon 5.
Yes.
My dog
Aw.
just passed out because
Because I
just
said that.
flopped right over. You just
I'm done.
He was like,
I'm
it's
done.
about what?
He's like, it was like Caesar at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes.
he really was.
Just quietly passed
I'm bringing
away.
the dab back, you guys. I'm bringing it back.
Okay,
I'm
Dab.
proud of you.
so
Thank you.
we've done 2 Planets of the Apes so far.
True.
Now it's the third one.
I hate to be that person, but it's every single episode. Do we start the podcast by
Oh,
saying our names, or
I
do we
forget.
not?
I
think it's been
do.
the 5th one in the row.
I do have my sticky note, so I'm going to
Yeah,
start the
replace
podcast.
that with just
I
say
forgot
your
about that
fucking
sticky
name,
note.
period.
Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Jackson Monkey Boy McMurray.
My name is Adeline Bad Monkey Boy McMurray.
And my name is Kezia Justice for Bright Eyes Rhodes.
Bright eyes.
Valid. Bright eyes, open spirits, can't lose.
And this
Can't lose.
is not allowed.
And it's not ours allowed. We're really good at our
It's a
intros.
podcast about pop culture, mostly movies, and also Old Town Road now.
Old Town Road.
Have you
We're
heard
an
of
Old
it?
Town Road fan cast.
Have you heard to Old Town Road yet? Have you heard to it?
My
you heard to
my
it?
favorite video ever is that video of Lil Nas X going to some elementary school and performing Old Town Road. And they clearly didn't, like, think it through.
Yeah.
Because there's that moment, like, I think the first lyric that's, like, questionable in that song is he just says, like, bull riding and boobies. And you can,
Yeah.
like, see in his eyes, like, as he's about to say it, he's like, oh. And he, like, he censors himself. He just, like, skips over
Yeah.
it. But the kids are all like, bull riding and boobies!
Yeah, they just yell it over
It's so
him.
great. It's so great.
And the parents were just like, yeah, we like this.
Yeah.
We like this.
It's a perfect example of parents can't, for some reason, listen to lyrics of songs.
Right.
No.
I remember
happening?
when Rockstar was on the radio a lot, Rockstar by Nickelback.
Because
I remember, like, hearing he says, like, I'm gonna dress my ass with the latest fashion. And I was like, oh my god. Like, I don't know if my mom knows. Like, I don't think she would be letting me listen to this if she knew that was what they said. And I was just like, I just kept it to myself because I was like, I'm not gonna tell her. I don't want her to take it away, but like,
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't.
I can't lose Rockstar by
I hope she
Yeah.
doesn't figure it out. Like,
I can't make it through the 3rd grade without it.
without it, I couldn't
Oh
have.
my
Song
God.
rules. I sang that song
Yeah.
in karaoke one time and I killed.
You killed a man.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, you know what they say, the jugs come easy and the girls come cheap.
they do.
Girls come easy, the drugs come
Because
cheap.
we just won't eat.
Yeah, and also look at this graph.
Like, yeah.
Every time it makes me laugh. Anyway,
Okay.
we have to stop.
Or the Planet of the Apes. I'm almost a little bit hesitant about this because
Welcome to the Planet of the Apes. Hello.
welcome to the Planet of the
one.
Apes. This is it.
Here we are.
Because you know
One
we
of us
talk,
will lose the ability to speak. by
we
the end
tend
of
to
this
talk
podcast.
about this franchise in a really holistic way when we talk about it,
Hmm.
and I kind of wonder what there is to even be said still, like. Because we
fucking
know
good.
we're quite vocal about our stance on War for the Planet of the Apes and how it kicks ass and is great.
The best
It does.
movie. It's the best
You
movie.
know,
does.
like, besides like just going through the movie, like I'm not sure what else to say.
I mean, I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. It's a war against nature.
Mm.
It's a sin. It's a crime against humanity.
Man
That
versus man
that-
versus nature.
Andy Serkis acted his ass off through
I
this movie,
know.
and the Academy Awards
Ignored.
turned a blind eye.
Right.
And it makes me, I watched this last night, and then I watched a little bit more this morning. because
And then
it
I
makes
watched
me
it again.
so mad when he's like holding his son,
Yeah.
and when he gets his head up against the gun, and he's like, you can just see it in his face, and it's the best performance of the year. It's the best performance of 2017 by far, and I will go to the grave. I will go to the grave angry about this.
Preach
So
it.
that's all I have to say.
There is.
I mean,
I don't know what the preeminent VFX awards are called. I don't remember, but I know
Best
that they
special
have an acting category. They have a best VFX acting category.
because the Academy Awards doesn't give a
matter.
shit about you.
Right.
It doesn't give a
Well,
shit.
Doesn't
but I just
matter.
think
It's
that's
still acting.
fascinating because it's not just like motion capture. It's like people who are like acting against CGI figures or like people who are maybe giving like a double performance, like Nicolas Cage in adaptation or something. Like any acting performance that is deeply
related
related to VFX. Yeah.
Computer gen.
Which I think is fascinating. I think we should have that at the Academy Awards. I
Yeah,
think we
we
should have a
should.
VFX
Yeah.
acting category.
Maybe the Academy Awards is deeply flawed. Maybe we need to
It's
change a lot
possible.
of things.
But I'm
Just
just
maybe.
saying, if that's not an acting performance worthy of awards,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know any. I don't know a single one. Screw you, Anthony Hopkins. Screw you, the father. I'm so mad about it.
That
Yeah, it
was
a really good
the
performance.
wildest
It
thing
was
that
really
ever
good.
happened. Anthony Hopkins winning that award was the funniest thing that ever happened in the world. Were either of you guys... Keisha, you were watching
I
it
watched
with
it
me.
with you.
But Adeline, did you ever even see the end of that ceremony?
No, I know that they made a big meal out of it.
Literally,
Yeah.
here's what
Yeah,
happened.
They made a big meal and they brought them a raisin.
Yeah, they announced, so they did Best Picture second to last, which is highly unusual. They did Best Actress, Best Picture, and then they were like Best Actor. Like, obviously assuming Chadwick Boseman was to win, and they could have their big emotional thing and talk about Chadwick Boseman a bunch before they cut and ended the ceremony. But Joaquin Phoenix gets up on stage.
Artie doesn't want to be there.
Artie doesn't want to be there. Artie seems angry. Gets up there, and he's like, so the nominees are blah, 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 blah. And he just opens it up, and he's like, Anthony Hopkins for the father, who could not be in attendance. So accepting this
'cause
award
he's
on
an
his behalf is somebody
80-year-old
else.
man
And
during a
my
pandemic.
literally, they
Could
didn't even
not
show...
travel.
They didn't even show the speech of, like, whoever came up to get it for him. It was literally like, Anthony Hopkins for the father, I'll see you next time. Good night.
Yeah.
Credits.
And then Questlove is like, yeah, that was our show. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
It was so wild.
Oh my god.
And Anthony
like,
Hopkins just asleep in his bed.
Yeah,
you
Anthony
know,
Hopkins was not even
They
conscious.
didn't give less of a
Yeah,
shit.
he was
Yeah.
in. But then he did accept the award the next morning.
Right.
Like he just
When he woke
couldn't-
up.
He's
Yeah.
old. He's old, and there was a pandemic. He couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go. Which
Only
is
one
fair.
being fucking responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
And
was being sweet. He was sweet. He was like, I was like, I'm here in my beautiful home in Ireland, and I'm so thankful. And stay healthy, and thank you so much.
It's really unfortunate that
Yeah.
they used the death of my competitor for clout, and then it also didn't work out for them, even when they
Yeah.
were trying to get clout.
Right.
So,
Oh, he did. He was like, everyone we know, like Chadwick Boseman was so great, and we lost him too early, and blah blah blah. And so I like Anthony Hopkins. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh, of course, it's
So I
not his
hated
fault.
the father.
yeah,
I hated
it's
the
not
father.
his fault at all.
I hated it.
I was
Stop
watching.
yelling at people with dementia.
I
This
was,
is Anthony
Help them!
Hopkins.
How you need to help them?
I was watching a bunch of Marvel movies the other day, just as I was working on something. I had it on my other screen, and Anthony Hopkins deserves his Academy Award for Thor: The Dark World. Because that moment in that movie where Loki says something like, "Oh, but it's my birthright to be king," and he goes, "Your birthright was to die." I'm like, he deserves
God,
the
he's
world.
so good.
He's the
and
best.
He's so good in
You must
Westworld
think of me a
too.
slice
Westworld.
of bread to butter me so. It's like,
So
hey,
great.
Yoda.
Anthony Hopkins,
God,
the best.
Anthony Hopkins, top tier, top notch.
So just to get back to Planet of the Apes,
Right,
I
right.
want to say our opinion is very well known. But if this is your first podcast, maybe you don't know what our opinion is. But we are very much of the belief that the series as a whole, first one is definitely the worst one. Still a phenomenal movie. And the second one definitely improves on it. And then
It
the third
sets
one
up-
is
it
the
sets up
best
what it
film
needs
ever
to.
made. I would say that my opinion of it is that the first one is great because it establishes the ideas that we build upon so much in the second and third one. And so like it does have what's his face in it, and I do hate him.
James
What's
Franco.
his name? James Franco.
James
I
Franco.
forget his name because I hate him so much. And he gives us absolutely nothing, Queen, and he does nothing the whole movie. But Andy Serkis is doing a damn great job. The whole plot point with the father with his dementia slaps. Like
the father.
With the father.
The father.
Right? That,
Like,
Anthony Hopkins would have done it better.
He wouldn't.
But
But
John
there's-
Lithgow is good.
I don't think
We
it would have
talked
been
about-
better with Anthony Hopkins.
We talked about the
He
first
brings
one
a different
lot.
energy than John Lithgow
would've been-
does.
He does.
They would have been nominated for an Academy Award if it was Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, maybe.
They would have. They
Maybe.
would have. They really would have. But like, there are a lot of parts of the first movie that kind of fall apart a little bit. But like, as a starting idea, it's a really good launch pad. And then the second one builds upon all those ideas. It's more like the Shakespearean tragedy. It's great. This third one, even like Jailbreak, awesome, amazing. But so instead of just talking about how amazing and how much we love this movie is, which we will do later, I did make the conscious decision and maybe also the mistake of watching the CinemaSins.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting to do that.
And what is infuriating about the CinemaSins for this movie in particular is that you can tell that he does really like the movie.
Right, yeah, there are a lot of
those.
those.
And is still just shitting on it. And he keeps... And every time he does I'm gonna take away a sin because this was good. I'm like, shut the fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sin,
you can't just be like, actually, this part was good. I'm like, fuck you. He does that at the very beginning, where we see that the very first, like, fight between the men going up the hill and the monkeys at the dam, and that awesome, beautiful scene. That's so great.
Right.
And he's like, okay, this is really good. I'm gonna take off a sin. But it's the only battle in a war movie. And I'm like, yeah, because war is only men shooting at each other. That's the only thing that war is.
That would be
and
a battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Which
exists.
And yeah, exactly.
He says this literally moments after being like, they make you read something at the beginning of the film.
Right,
I'm just like, shut up. I think that the opening crawl is super effective.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
Because they expect you to know what's going on. They're just giving you a little refresher. Like, if you forgot, like, this is where we are in the timeline. You know that, like, they're starting to die, and the plants and the apes are, like, rising in power, and the humans are declining. So, like, where are we in this conflict? And they're like, okay, so we're at this point where, like, most of the humans are gone, and they're trying to eliminate Caesar, and the apes are kind of losing, and here we are. And it's like, okay, I know exactly where we are in the timeline. And he's like, and they fucking highlight Rise and Dawn like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
rules.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It is a fun touch, and I like it.
It's like if you like if there was a fairy tale movie and they started with Once Upon a Time, you're like,
right.
Ding! Once Upon a Time, cliche.
It's
like,
cliche.
Okay, but it's
He's
good.
also super pissed that they break out of jail. He's like, there's 12 billion movies where they break out of jail. How unoriginal.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry.
Because that's the thing.
That's
I had
the
a
plot
pretty
of the movie.
I had a pretty similar experience because I had to spend a lot of time rooting through like shitty IMDb reviews of this movie to find a good one.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that really bugs people. I mean, when I say really bugs people, I mean bugs people who are obnoxious and are writing IMDb reviews.
Who are assholes.
Well, bugs certain people is that this is absolutely a movie that like really, really wears its influences on its sleeve, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very much Apocalypse Now, it's very much The Great Escape, it's very much The Ten Commandments, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's living in all these worlds, and it's very much like riffing on a lot of these classic movies, and to a lot of people that just means unoriginal, which is not how that works. And like being able to successfully emulate a great movie is very difficult, and does not like somehow equal a lesser amount of creative energy being put into something.
Well, and people like to pretend that they're doing nothing other than emulating that thing.
Right.
Which is just wrong, because we have all of the background information of what built up to this.
Mm-hmm.
To say that in this timeline where the humans are ranking the apes, and it becomes like this like genocide, like horrible thing with like jailbreak and all that stuff, that it leads into these things that we know, that's interesting because we're part of a world that we've already built. And to say that it's unoriginal because it's emulating something that you've seen is just asinine. It's just stupid.
I think a lot about a quote that James Mangold said when he was talking about Logan, which is a pretty similar movie that also came out this year. But he said something about how, like, the biggest battle with Logan was fighting for an R rating. And he said, like, I didn't want an R rating because I didn't think I could tell the story without blood or gore or cussing or whatever. He was like, I absolutely could have made this movie pretty much just as good as it is now if it had to be PG-13. because you wouldn't really, like, especially with Logan, you wouldn't need to change that much. Just, like, change how you do the action and make them not cuss anymore, which would basically not really change it that much. But, like...
You can't say fuck anymore.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is, he says, like... the reason I wanted an R rating, why I wanted permission to have an R rating, was because that changes the way the studio looks at the movie, right? If they know your movie is going to be PG-13, then they expect it to behave a certain way. They expect it to be a blockbuster that is marketed towards the broadest possible audience. And when you tell them that they need to make the concession that it will be rated R, which just automatically means it won't gross as high because R-rated movies don't perform as well as PG-13 movies. Just logistically, it doesn't really happen. They are so much more willing to let you do interesting things and let the movie be slower and let the movie, you know, have long scenes, take its time on different things, and, you know, not just be action heavy and just exist as it is as sort of a drama more than anything else. And this movie, and War for the Planet of the Apes, is sort of like the opposite of that, I feel like. Because this is very much like a PG-13 family blockbuster, but it is so slow and so pensive and so... It just takes its own time about things and doesn't ever feel like it's making concessions like, oh, you know, somebody needs to punch somebody here because we're like 45 minutes into the movie and we got to give them something, you know? Like, a lot of modern blockbusters are like, oh, and then they have a fight. That's like kind of not really anything. And like, this movie, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the rating like I was talking about with the James Mangold quote, but I think that this movie just like embodies a lot of the things that he's talking about how these movies are not usually allowed to be, you know?
Yeah, like it's like this movie is really brutal in the risks that it takes. Like, in my opinion, the movie ends at the 19-minute marker because that's when his family is all happy and they're about to leave and they're gonna go. But like his son and his wife get murdered.
Yeah.
20 minutes into the movie, and that's not, you would not expect that at all. Like that was crazy.
Loves his sons so much.
I know, he's just when like Bright Eyes comes back and he gives him that little hug.
That little hug.
You know, he's just and it's so sad.
Yeah, and characters that we've known for a whole
we're losing Adeline.
The 19-minute mark.
Okay.
Like,
agree.
I agree with this. Okay. Adeline, are you coming through okay?
Lag is really...
It'll be fine though because you can hear it through her audio.
I can.
So.
Yeah, I mean the podcast will be okay, but
yeah.
Adeline, your lag is so bad
Anyway.
we like can't hear what you're saying. Do you want to hang up and hop back in, see if that helps?
Anyway, she was probably saying something about how sad it is that Caesar's son and wife get fridged.
True.
And it is.
True.
But then it sets up the arc for this movie, which is that Caesar for the whole trilogy had like a weakness and an affinity for humanity, for human beings, despite the fact that they are constantly treating him terribly. And this is his breaking point. He snaps.
Right.
He snaps in this movie, and
it's
cool because
he goes
then
off Queen.
He goes off Queen because his foil Koba is haunting him now. Like, that's the thing about this movie, is that it's so much more Shakespearean than other action movies are, especially in like this 2017 era.
Right.
That's not what most people are looking for, but I think most people aren't looking for a Planet of the Apes movie. Like, I feel like the people who watch Planet of the Apes know what they're expecting, you know?
Right. What's
How's
up,
it going,
Adeline? How are
Adeline?
you?
Is it better? Is it better now? Okay.
The
But I
audio is
was
better.
saying- Audio is
Yeah, okay, it
better.
looks like
the
we're
video's way
there.
better on my part.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
we
gonna
good.
say is that the biggest complaint I hear about this movie, not from asshole randos on the internet, but from like people I'm talking to, or who are like able to articulate themselves, is just that this movie feels like too dour. Like it's very intense and very sad. And it has its comic relief moments, but
Yeah.
it's just like such a fucking slog. Not like slog in a bad way, but it's like
Yeah.
just like intense and heavy, and it just wants to be that, and a lot of people don't react very well to that. I would argue that I think that the structure of this thing is so sort of heightened dramatically. I mean, we say it all the time, but it's so much like a fucking like classical, like, it's the things it's riffing on are like the Bible,
Hamlet,
and Shakespeare.
Moses.
Like it's like these classic like old tragedies, like in Shakespeare, in scripture, in like these old ways.
Yeah.
It's riffing on like Bridge on the River Kwai.
Not happy
Beowulf.
stories.
Yeah. And to me that makes it, that like contextualizes it enough that it doesn't just feel like, oh yeesh, like lighten up, guys.
Bummer.
Yeah, like it
And
feels
it's also
confident
named
enough in
War-
those things that it feels like it's enjoyable to watch. There's a certain heightening of it that happens when you like think about it in that context, as opposed to just being like, yeesh, I thought this was about apes.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're the monkeys. Well, I mean,
Kezia.
that's the thing. That's the thing, though, is that if we're gonna compare this also to Logan, people loved Logan, but that is a dour movie.
Right.
That's sad.
It's incredibly horrific how sad it is.
Right.
Like there is nothing about it that makes me go.
This is nice.
Right.
Saw that movie at least at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes, when they make it to the promised land, Moses.
Moses. I
But
see you,
Moses.
Moses.
It makes like you're like that is sad, but he accomplished what he needed to do. Like these apes have their own place now, and they have this freedom that is available to them. Whereas when I saw Logan, I went to see it with my mom, and she went to the bathroom right as the Logan clone showed up and stabbed Charles Xavier through the chest.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea. I was like,
How do
and
you
then
explain
she
this
showed
to
up.
her?
I was like, yeah, so when you left, they were having dinner together, and now, so there's a clone, and he's Charles Xavier.
Well, so imagine if he had gone to the bathroom right as his wife and child gets murdered.
Yeah,
So it's like,
you're like, hey, what happened?
They had a fun little ape meeting, and then a bunch of snipers came in, and now Bright Eyes and Cornelia are dead.
That's such a good scene though, when like
so
he
fucking
hears it on the radio.
So
They're like,
good.
we got Caesar, and he's like, oh shit, like
Shit, I'm alive.
right here. Oh my god, and you can see it in his face,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you know what happened. You're like, there's only one other ape who looks like Caesar, bitch.
Right.
And it's so nice. He got attacked by a bear so that we know what he looks like. That's why
so
they did
sad.
that.
2017 was a great year for VFX performances.
It really was.
This and
so
Logan
good.
and Shape of Water, and
It was just a good year for movies. Like, honestly,
there were a lot of good
bangers came out in
blockbusters.
2017.
No, yeah, I've said it before. That's the thing about like blockbuster movies, like right now, in the sense that like these like PG-13 family blockbusters are like wholesale way better than they've ever been, but most of the time they're not really like exceptional. Like there are not a lot of like truly like interesting and exceptional like big PG-13 family blockbusters. But this year,
2017 was just oops all bangers.
yeah, this year there was Last Jedi, War for the Planet
No
of the
skips.
Apes. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say Logan or Blade Runner, but like because
But
those were
still,
both that
like,
year
they're-
too. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But like it like felt new, and they all felt different from each other,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to say right now though, because there is like a weird monosynchrony of what is being released, and
Right.
also like because we went through a whole stage of Jackson and I were talking about this. I don't think we said it on the podcast, but for a good solid year, they were just saying like, here are our small, like straight to streaming indie budget movies. Here, we're releasing them via Netflix.
Right.
Please give us an Oscar. And then when things started opening, it was all big, explosive Kong versus Godzilla-esque movies. And now we're getting back to the mediums. We're here in medium zone again.
We're seeing
and
old.
Mediums,
We're seeing the Green Knight.
We're seeing old.
We're seeing old, all right.
Wait, we got to address old did outgross G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes at the domestic box office last weekend. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it, Joe. Jackson made that joke first. He texted it.
But like, I was just hoping for that. I was like, I have to be vindicated in my belief that absolutely nobody's going to give a shit about Snake Eyes Origins G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I have not seen even a commercial for that. I have not heard a whisper about it.
When Maddie and I went to go see Old, we were like very loudly saying, who's even gonna see G.I. Joe Snake Eyes? Who cares? Who cares about Snake Eyes? No one's gonna see that. And then the man right in front of us is like, 1 ticket to Snake Eyes, please. And we were like, very, very loudly,
like,
we're like, the Asians won't see Snake Eyes. We're like, so maybe, but I will say, I saw the screen when they were like, where do you want to sit? Very empty.
Sounds
Old,
about right.
practically full.
Almost
practically
full.
full.
People love Old.
Boss Baby, family, the family orange.
Family values. Boss
Family values.
But
They're all black now.
I just want to say, like, I don't get the logic of like trying to do a like weird reboot origin story in the G.I. Joe universe.
Yeah.
Because like G.I. Joe was like was like a parody of like big bloated commercial blockbusters when it first came out in like 2013 or whatever. And like they made 2 of them, and the only thing anybody ever said about the G.I. Joe movies was like, oi, 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 like, these things, God, like, it's like the fucking Michael Bay, like, it's like Transformers, they're like trying to do Transformers again, basically.
Yeah.
And like, nobody really showed up for it. And
nobody
like,
wanted that.
Yeah, and now they're like, okay, so now that the epidemic of IP-driven schlocky blockbusters is at its height, and people are more tired of that than they've ever been, what if we not only reimagined the character,
anything.
What if we not only brought back a dead franchise that people were already tired of 5 years ago, but we also reimagined the main character so they are absolutely nothing like what people want them to be. Like
even
Snake
if
Eyes,
they had nostalgia for it, which they don't.
Like Snake Eyes is like a faceless
Henry Golding.
Yeah, like a faceless mute assassin who's just like a badass who shows up and fucks shit up. And this movie is like Henry Golding being like, the sacred tablet of what now?
Yeah.
And you're like,
maybe it'll be like Deadpool, but in the Wolverine Origins version of Deadpool.
Yeah, there you go.
They just sew his mouth shut at the end, and he's like, swords coming out of his arms.
Yeah,
like that.
What was with that? Like, did they literally just like, we need an IP for this guy that we have? Deadpool, sure. Like,
I don't know, because there's a lot going on with that movie. Will.i.am is in that movie.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, I've always said
so
like
much.
the whole. I think it's a bit kind of in that movie. Like Deadpool is like the merc with a mouth, so I'm sure they were like, it would be funny if we like sewed his mouth shut. Like with, I think that was supposed to be like a bit, and like the way Hugh Jackman reacts to him is like, oh, haha, they sewed your mouth shut, idiot, fuck you. And like, I think it like is kind of funny, but it just sort of is weird in the sense that it like totally negates any real
him being Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly.
It was also
he has swords for hands.
Because like
does not have.
That was the era of X-Men where they were like really trying to cement themselves as like, this is serious and this is grounded and yellow spandex, get it out of here. We only wear tight black leather.
Goofy Deadpool. This is what he looks like.
Merc with a mouth that is the Don Quixote of the anti-hero Marvel universe.
What did you just say?
We don't want. That's what he is. That's he's literally Don Quixote. Hello, have you read Don Quixote?
Hello.
Explain this to me. How is Deadpool like Don Quixote?
Because he's constantly breaking the fourth wall and like talking to the audience and like playing into stereotypes. That's Don Quixote to a T.
All right.
That's
Okay.
literally what Don Quixote is.
Get dunked
Continue.
on, Jackson.
All right, continue.
I'm so sorry that I'm educated. but like at the very tail end of the X-Men franchise, they're like, oh, they're gonna like this. It'll be like a fun tongue-in-cheek for the people who know, and for everyone else, it's gonna be like, ooh, spooky, scary.
Right.
This villain. Ooh. And that was around the time when people were like, oh no, like Deadpool would be cool, but I want it like fun Deadpool. I want it to be fun.
Yeah.
Can a
I would like to
superhero
have
movie
fun,
be fun?
please.
Mhm.
You ever heard of Sam Raimi before?
Yeah. Let me introduce you to my friend, Sam Raimi.
But yeah,
But-
You
and,
know
like,
that new sound you've been looking for?
listen to this. It's the Spider-Man soundtrack.
Sam Raimi.
But like, so I made a TikTok about this.
Well, I'm Jackson on TikTok.
A while ago, Hugh Jackman like had a meeting with Kevin Feige, and he like went really far out of his way to be like, I had a meeting with Kevin Feige today, and like posted a picture of Wolverine claws on his
But in
Instagram and stuff.
Australian.
Mhm.
Boy.
I had a meeting with Kevin Feige today.
Feige.
Feige.
We put a shit pumping Bobby. I'm
But
gonna play Wolverine again.
Wolverine. Oh, we love Wolverine here in Australia. But so I really think it's probably like he's gonna be Wolverine in Deadpool 3 is what I think, or he's gonna like play Wolverine in like an audio drama or something. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna be
Or
what you hope
maybe
it
they
is.
just got lunch. Like,
Exactly,
what if they're
yeah.
just friends?
But you know, it was really clear Hugh Jackman was like going out of his way to tease people with it.
Yeah.
Wink.
But, like
But he's too busy being the music man right now.
It's true.
He has to save Winthrop from himself and
Gary,
marry
Indiana.
him from the library monster, and he has to
Yeah.
teach everybody how to do the poopy dance. That's what he needs right now.
that librarian in the
It's
music
true.
man's like, gotta keep reading, and he's like, no, marching bands.
No, you've been reading for too long. Stop
Oh,
reading.
Stop
Jack.
reading.
You're being consumed.
But like, I really hope. I mean, I doubt it will, but I really, really hope that doesn't mean they're just gonna be like, we're bringing the X-Men back, all your favorites, Halle Berry, James Marsden. Like, I don't want that. Like,
Nobody wants that. Everyone's a little bit done with the X-Men
yeah,
movies
like
right
we're
now.
ready for a new one. Like, we need a
I'm
new
not.
cast.
I
He's
would.
just not.
I'll
But
take
Keisha
another
likes
X-Men
Glee,
movie.
so
I'll take. Whoa. My love of Glee has nothing to do with my love of X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
They've got
different.
similar energy sometimes.
That's fair.
What's the
Those are
name of
great.
What's the name of the lady who plays Jean Grey? What's she up to?
Samantha.
Oh, like it's like a weird. It's not weird, but it's like a different
It's
country.
like a weird one.
It's like Swedish name or something. Gray.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You guys have
She was
been
in that.
going crazy in the chat, and I haven't even been seeing it.
I can't look at the chat or I will turn into a slideshow, so that's my excuse.
Hold on. Okay, let me read this. It was like
Yeah, come on.
it was like behind, and I didn't even know you guys were talking. I'm so sorry, you guys. Wujumbo hates these
Look at
stupid
us.
ape movies. All right, fine,
Wujumbo's
whatever.
wrong.
Uh,
They're wrong.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
You're the monkey around. Hey, have you heard of the Bible? What if it was a chimpanzee? And
Yeah,
that's how you
instead.
get my ass in the theater, honestly.
What if it was the Old Testament, but it was about a chimpanzee instead of a
I'm
guy?
just like,
It's
fuck
true.
yeah, dude. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
you were like, oh, how is this night unlike any other
Understand what you're-
night?
Fuck
Because
yeah,
it's made-
dude. I'm gonna speak my truth.
It's just good, you guys. It's just a good. Why, Wujumbo? Tell us why. Tell us why you don't like it. Because you
Well,
don't like art?
let me
Because you
pull-
don't like an interesting character study? Because you don't like family values? Because you don't like
Family values.
interesting
Family-
fight choreography? Because
I
you don't
just-
like watching Woody Harrelson shave his head on screen?
When Caesar
That's
fucking
great.
just comes back from having his son and his wife murdered in cold blood. And the
Ugh.
first thing that they do is that they find the house and they think it's a soldier camp and they see that guy and Caesar just fucking murks him, just shoots him in the side of the head mercilessly. And everybody turns at him like, yo, what the fuck, Caesar? Like, you love humans and you just shot and killed that dude, like, straight up. And he's like, yeah, I'm Caesar. I'm hardcore now. And they go into the house and they find the little girl and Caesar is just like frozen with this look on his face like, holy fuck. Like, I just killed this little girl's dad in cold blood. This is exactly what just happened to me. And he just can't handle it. And the whole movie, he can't handle it, which is why he and Nova have such this block.
I don't think you
it's
can
like
handle
so
this.
triggering for him. And it's so good. So good.
A question. Are you guys pro or anti like Nova and Cornelius being in the franchise already? Like, how do you feel
I think
about
it's
that?
fun. That was another thing that Cinema Sims was real upset about. That they're like, oh, you guys are fucking shoving in the old shit wherever you can. It's like, nobody thinks that those are the actual Nova and Cornelia. Like, they're just not. Like, it's a fun
Cornelius.
Cornelius. It's a fun, well, the wife's name is Cornelia. That's the weird
But
thing.
she's dead.
She's dead. She died. But it's like this, I just think it's a fun Easter egg. It's fun to use the names over again. And, like, to say that maybe the Cornelius in the future might be named after, like, the first Ape Prince. Like, oh, maybe. That makes sense to me. Maybe Nova becomes a really popular name among humans after that. Like, I totally buy that. Like, I think that the names being the same are totally fine.
It is I, the Prince of the Apes.
Yeah.
The Prince of the Apes.
Oh, Cornelius! He can't even talk.
It's just like
Cornelius, first Prince of the Apes.
Cornelius grows up a little bit and becomes king, and he's just like little Lord Fauntleroy. He's just like, hear ye, I decree. And all the apes are just like, oh my god.
This guy.
It's together strong,
It's together
as
strong.
my father said. My late father Caesar.
My late father.
May he rest in peace.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, as far as, like, the way this movie relates to the old movies, like, you know, like, the names and, like, the characters and that sort of thing, I think of them more as like little Easter eggs. I mean, like you said, Adeline, because, like, obviously it's not literally, like, the one. But, like, I'm way more concerned about the way that this movie feels like it actually relates to the original ones in a way that I don't think Dawn really does as much. Because all the stuff about the, like, new mutation of the human virus, like, makes so much sense to me and becomes so thematically strong in the movie and, like, relates to the, like, world of the original one in a really interesting way. And I think that, like, I think that whole thing is so smart because I think, you know, this is something that me and Anna talk about a lot because, you know, I think this movie is more than anything about ableism in a lot of different ways.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like, you know, Woody Harrelson and his whole cadre of I don't know, American white supremacists, whatever their deal is.
Yeah.
They're like, they are so obsessed with keeping their purity as
People
humans
need
as
talkie.
they imagine it. Yeah.
People need speaky.
And, like, the apes are
Walkie
clearly...
and talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
Yeah. But, like, the apes are clearly very much a society. Very much, you know, not human,
with, like,
technically,
cognition.
literally, but they're very much... If we are to extend the idea of, like, what is human, they are very much human, you know? And...
Yeah, as the Hunchback of Notre Dame posits, what makes a monster and what makes a man.
And it's a lot about, you know, using the same sorts of rhetoric that, like, white supremacists use when it comes to, like, immigration in the United States, but being like, we need to preserve our humans being as we are. And the thought of us compromising some little bit of what we think of as humanity is unacceptable, and we would literally rather die than have that happen. And we need to stop this, like, sort of miscegenation of like verbal and nonverbal societies from happening. And it's so fascinating the way that, like, the I mean, I don't know, I guess that's the end of the statement, but it's just it is bringing together all these ideas in a really smart way.
Yeah, well, because, like, as the movie goes on, you can tell that the Colonel Woody Harrelson, again, just dynamite performance, by the way. Usually, like, that's sidetrack, but the pattern of these movies had been fun, amazing, older character actor,
Right.
one boring white man, Apes. But then this movie was like, what if we got rid of the one boring white man and we just kept that fun character actor?
Yeah.
Right.
Oops, all
So
bangers.
Oops, all bangers.
Oops, all
Yeah.
bangers. No skips, I swear. But like you can tell that he is just the apes know he's in the wrong, but the other remaining humans, when Caesar is negotiating with him and he's talking about how, you are building this wall to keep other humans out.
Right.
They are not on your side.
Right.
Like, this is a war that I thought was ape versus human, but this is a war that we are not a part of.
It's
this
you
is
versus
human
everybody
human
else.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes on that rampage where he's like, my son became primitive and he couldn't speak and he couldn't think and he was nothing. And then you see, like, you've already seen, but you keep seeing that Nova, the girl who cannot speak, very clearly understands American Sign Language still.
Still thinking, still totally
thinking.
alive. Yeah.
Thinking, caring, like, she shows empathy and sadness for Luca pouring out. Silencio Bruno.
Luca.
like she
I
like has a flower exchange. Like, it's
the
very
gorillas
much.
are my favorite animal.
I know.
We all know that. That fucking scene with the Luca and this flower, and he gives her the fucking flower. He fucking wrecks me, and then he fucking dies. I'm like, oh
and
my god, Luca.
They call them donkeys.
They do.
Donkey
Yeah,
Kong.
they call
They
them
have
donkeys
to.
and Kongs.
And Kongs separately,
Yeah.
not
They call them
together.
Kongs.
It's very
They are
important that
Kongs.
they don't say those two things together.
They are Kongs and they're called donkeys. So
Sure.
I'm just, why did they choose that? I know that
I
donkeys.
feel bad
like
calling that gorilla donkey though, because it feels like when you call Frankenstein's monster a monster, you're like, well, this
true.
goes against the thing that we were doing.
Yeah.
It's true. But that's what they call them.
In the chat, they're all debating what their favorite monkey movies are. I mean, I think this is all of our favorite monkey movies, but aside from War of the Planet of the Apes, what's the best monkey movie?
The episode of The Simpsons where they do Planet of the Apes the musical.
There we go.
Dr. Zayas.
I watched that this week. It's so funny.
It's so good.
Like, I hate every ape I see from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
That's right. It's so good.
Genius.
It's so good.
That's genius. And then, oh my god, I was wrong. It was Earth all along.
It's so good. So good.
It's so good.
And I want to say hi to.
What are their?
I want to say hi to What's Not Good in the chat because I don't know if that's a person that we know. We've seen them around. It's cool to see a new face around. What's up? What's up? What's not good?
It's not this movie because this movie's
What's
great.
another ape movie? What are they saying?
Well, they're talking about Monkey Bone.
Mighty
Joe Young. I haven't seen it.
Excuse me, George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
Oh,
A lot of
Best
Brendan
friend's the
Fraser.
gorilla.
Multiple Brendan Fraser monkey movies.
He really likes them monkeys.
Yeah.
It's true.
Were there any monkeys on Frasier?
I don't think, you know, Brendan Fraser was not in Frasier, right?
What do you mean? He was Frasier. What do you mean?
Yeah, baby, I hear this. Call it toss salad. It's scrambled.
I'm just trying to think.
I
Kong
don't
Skull
know what-
Island, great. Kong Skull Island, good monkey movie.
I watched Mighty Joe Young a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
And I would watch it again.
Maybe we need to do a King Kong
I don't know why.
series.
What was the new one about the zoo gorilla who knows how to draw that everyone said was like just okay? What was that movie?
The
Something the Great.
Ivan, the one and only Ivan. The one and only Ivan.
Ivan, but not the good one. The good Ivan.
Ivan the terribly good at art.
One and only Ivan was surprisingly pretty good. I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Tarzan?
Yeah.
Tarzan is good.
It was
Tarzan's
supposed to
real
be
good.
it was supposed to be a theatrical release, but they pushed it to Disney Plus. So
What about the stupid new gritty live action Tarzan that nobody watched? What about that one?
the
I didn't
David
watch
Yates
it.
Tarzan.
Yeah. during that time period, we were really, really into doing like dark, gritty reboots
Like
of
public
Disney fairy
domain.
tales.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
they
that
were all
wasn't-
they
it
were all
wasn't
bad,
Disney,
and we
though.
all thought that they were good in like 2013, and they were all bad. All of them are bad. Hansel and Gretel, go fuck yourself. What?
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter.
I didn't see. I
Yeah,
didn't.
go fuck
yeah.
yourselves. The
But what
stupid,
what
the
is
stupid
one?
fucking Snow White one in the Huntsman.
Oh yeah, those
That
ones
one-
are so boring.
That fucking sucked.
You
they
had
made like 12 of them.
They made 2, and the first one was pretty good, Adeline. You just have an axe to
hated
grind
it.
because you didn't like Kristen Stewart when you were in middle school.
I didn't like the film. Did you
Why?
like the film?
When was the last time you watched it? Was it when you were in 7th grade?
No, I watched it semi-recently. I think I think
Okay.
one of the girls I was babysitting was like, "Oh my god," because it was like an older movie, and she was like, "Oh my god, can we watch that?" And I was like, let me text your mom, and her mom was like, "Whatever." And then we watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's still bad."
I'm just saying you've been
Still real
grinding an
bad.
axe against Snow White and the Huntsman since you were like
Hey, Stu.
13.
Yeah, and I stand
Because
by
the
it.
way
Alright.
It's not a
hates
good
you.
film. Like, I'm not allowed to like things when I'm like, because you didn't hate anything irrationally when you were 13.
Yeah, but I've
Fuck off,
reevaluated a
Jackson.
lot of those things.
Yeah, what did you hate? What did you hate
Reevaluated
irrationally?
is still bad. What do you
What's
mean?
something you hated irrationally when you were 13?
Sherlock?
Jackson. But you
Really?
like
Yeah.
Sherlock.
Well, I liked Sherlock at first, but
I
then it
can't
was a
think
weird
of
thing. It was
anything.
all in the like Sherlock Doctor Who thing where I was like, oh, it sucks now, and I'm super like ultra invested, but I hate it now, and now I can't even. And it was like so disastrous and messy emotionally. I was like way too attached and like based way too
Got
much of my
weird.
own value on this whole thing. So I fully disengaged for like 10 years, and then 5 years ago I was like,
Which was the right choice.
yeah. And then 5 years ago I was like, oh, Sherlock's good, Doctor Who's good. It's like I don't know, it's all fine.
Yeah.
I just didn't
Fine.
need to be a big
My
deal.
experience- My experience with Doctor Who was I was like, I think I would like Doctor Who. And then I turned it on and I saw the TARDIS fly around for 10 seconds and then I turned it off and I said, this will be a really big problem for me if I get into this show.
Just the TARDIS like bobbling
can't
around and the
even
I was
space-time
like,
continuum.
you know what? As an act of self-care, I'm not gonna watch this
Gonna
show.
turn this off. My like big thesis about Doctor Who is for every episode that's amazingly written and so good and so great with great acting, for every one like phenomenal episode, there's like 5 that are just like nothing.
Yeah,
And
pretty
that's
much.
what the whole series
Yeah,
is like.
and that's-
It's like there's one and you're like, oh my
That's
god, that
okay.
was so good. And then there's just like nothing for a little bit. And then it gets good again and then there's
Yeah.
nothing for a little
I've-
bit.
I've seen the clip of when he takes Vincent Van Gogh
That's a good
That is
episode.
absolutely
scholars-
brutal.
to the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the museum, and I just like it makes me so sad.
That,
It's
that
wild.
episode is designed to make you
I
cry.
I
Yeah.
know, but when like the museum curator is like, Vincent Van Gogh is my favorite artist of all time. Like he has done so much. He's changed
He's
my
the
life.
most
and I'm
important
like,
artist.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, he needed to hear
And
that.
you just see
real
him like
line.
out of focus in the background, and he starts to leave, and Doctor Who's like, "Oh, is this too much?" And the guy's like, "What's going on?" So good, so
So
good.
good.
It's just like the most wishful thing. Like I just feel like I have such an affinity for Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Like
An
Starry Night
amazing man.
is the best song in the world. Wait, or Vincent. It's called Vincent, but my dad would always go Starry Night. So that's what I have in my brain. But it's such a good song.
Yeah,
I
no,
went-
Vincent Van
I
Gogh
went too far.
absolutely struggled with mental health. Absolutely needed to have somebody say that his art was amazing, especially in his time. Did not kill himself. Fight me about it. He didn't.
True.
He
He was
didn't.
maybe potentially
We just
murdered.
he was accidentally murdered by some kids and he didn't want to get them in trouble, but we love to paint the tortured artist so we
Cut
don't
his
have
ear
to
off.
take care of people because it's interesting. He didn't cut his ear off. He got his
I
ear
know!
hurt in a fight because people
I
love
know.
to make jokes out of his life, and it's
Well,
like
no,
no,
wait, those are different instances.
those are different things, yes, but they're both like just these huge dramatized stories
Right.
that we make out of his life to make like, oh, this tortured, insane artist, what was going on in his mind? And
Yeah.
it's like it's depression. And when he got help for it, he made a whole bunch of more paintings. And if he had gotten to if he got better and he painted more, if he didn't get better, he wouldn't have painted more. Like it's that whole stupid rhetoric of like you have to suffer to make art, you have to be tortured, and it kills people. It kills people. In
Yeah.
real life, it has real effects.
Just like
Anyway.
just like Vincent Van Gogh had real life
Just like
effects for him.
Yeah.
Because he was a real person.
When he flew around with Doctor Who.
And that's why I can't watch Doctor Who. Thank you for coming on TikTok.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Not watching Doctor Who, don't want to end up like Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, you know what they say. Paint your palette blue and gray, baby.
War for the Planet of the Apes. He
good.
blows up. A lot of people in bad IMDb reviews really upset about the fact that everybody just dies in an avalanche at the end. But like,
But
I don't know.
nature won. It was man versus
Things-
nature, and nature
Yeah,
fucking won.
There's multiple things. First of all, it's not just a random avalanche. It was an avalanche that was caused by the actions of the characters. A.
Yeah, by the big explosion that went off.
Yeah. B. Even if it were just a random,
avalanche.
even if it were just a random avalanche, like there are instances in which a random event completely unaffected by the events of the movie can work in a script, and I think that this would be one of them. Because everybody always says like you can throw in a super unlikely coincidence if it is bad for the main character. Like people accept that, no questions asked. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
because
like,
that's what life is like.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you say, like, oh, it's not a problem, there's a 1 in a million chance of this going wrong, and then it goes wrong, people are like, oh my god, that's crazy. But if you're like, but then if, like, something's super unlikely to go well and it goes well, people are like, oh, come on, it just went well? Like,
It
like
just
people don't buy
happened.
that.
You're like 1 in 15 million chance.
Right. Which, but I don't want to, like,
That's what I
editorialize that because I think that's fair. That's the
Yeah.
way people engage
Yeah.
with movies. And I think that the avalanche coming in and wiping out basically the entirety of the rest of humanity in one fell swoop, after we've established that the rest of humanity isn't as crazy as the Woody Harrelson cult is, and they just show up and all get wiped out by an avalanche, it blows. Like, it is shocking and scary and, like, really sort of, it just accentuates, like, the fragility of like everything in this situation.
Yeah.
I think even if it weren't an action, even if it was just a totally random coincidence, quote unquote, I think it still would have worked. That's just my opinion.
Also, that it speaks to what Woody Harrelson's character is talking about, how apes are becoming stronger and humans are becoming weaker and more fragile, and that is showcased by the fact that the apes have the ability to outclimb an avalanche, and humans did not. They couldn't stand a chance, and that is sad. If they had worked together like they tried in the second movie, if that had succeeded, who knows? The outcome would have been completely 100% different. A, the avalanche would have happened, but
Right.
B, if you are working in conjunction rather than fighting, then maybe something happens. But it's not the apes' fault that they were able to outlast an avalanche.
Right.
It's on the humans for being contradictory and trying to stay top dog. Top dog humans, baby. Top of the food chain. That's the problem.
There was a specific line in the CinemaSins video that made me so mad. And it's that amazing delivery the first time that Caesar talks in this movie, and we see how good he's gotten at talking, and you're like, whoa, it's that moment. And he's like, I didn't start this war, and the ape who did is dead. I killed him. And you're like, holy shit. And he's like, actually, Caesar, I don't think it's really Kubo's fault. And if you really thought about it, it's arguably your fault too. So I don't know what you're talking about. And I just want, like, that's the movie. That's the point of the movie.
Right.
That's why we're watching the movie, idiot. Like, it just makes me, like, what are you talking about?
Every time
You're
I
like,
start
yes,
to watch
you
it,
contextualized this line.
Yeah.
Thank you.
it is, CinemaSins is such a forbidden fruit that, like, every once in a blue moon, it'll, like, come across my, like, recommended, and I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go. I know it's gonna make me angry, but sometimes I need to get angry about something.
Yeah.
And then I watch
Torture
it, and I
porn.
I can never get more than, like, 90 seconds in before I'm just like, fuck this! Fuck you! Shut up!
Well,
Like,
it's
I can't do
he's
it.
It's not a sin. He's like, this character was wrong. And I'm like, yeah, that's a part of the story
Yeah.
that they were wrong. He's like, they made a stupid decision. Yeah, that's the character making a stupid
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Why
My
is that a
favorite
fault of the
movie.
movie? It's just a
My
part
favorite
of the
kind of movie is when characters have everything figured out already, make no mistakes, there is no conflict, and they stay exactly where they are the whole time.
She's such a Mary Sue. Like, her name, idiot. Like, it just...
Yeah, Caesar is such a Mary Sue.
Yeah, like, he's just king and everybody respects him. What do you even do?
Oh, but when he gets back and all of the like he gets thrown into jail and all of the apes see it's him and they just turn away.
Yeah, out of like fear and a little
good.
bit of like hate because they're mad because they
Yeah.
kind of blame him because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they're mad because he began the shit beat out of them. And so they just like turn away. That he was like, why are they all mad at him? I'm like, oh my god, did you not watch the movie? Like, I get that you
they
guys have
felt
been like beaten
abandoned.
up, but it wasn't
Abandoned by
Caesar's
Disney.
fault. And I'm like, oh my god, did you watch the movie? The answer is no, you didn't.
What else about? Because I'm trying to just remember, like, at the end. Oh, when Caesar blows up the tank, somebody should have been like, he blew it up, you maniac. Just saying, like,
I wanted bad
need that.
to be like, he blew it up. Like, I think that would have been
Yeah.
so good.
That's my favorite part of Planet of the Apes is when Charlton Heston's like, you blew it up, you maniacs!
Maniacs!
Or they should have broken out in song. Yes, he finally made a monkey.
I'm with me. God, it's so funny.
It's so good.
It's so
God,
good.
if you haven't seen that episode of The Simpsons, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where like Selma starts dating Troy McClure.
I think
Those
so.
early seasons with Troy McClure. It's top notch, rock solid. Watch it right now. If you don't like Planet of the Apes, you'll still like this.
What is the name of the lady who plays Maurice?
I don't know. It's not.
It's like Karen. It's like Karen something.
She's not like an
still
actress I would know from anything else.
Yeah, she does such a fucking good job. Like Maurice just as a character is just like that whole scene when they first meet Nova and she's just like only acting in the face and just like making those hootie noises and stuff like that. Like it's so good. It's so good. I will die on the hill that Maurice should have just been a female orangutan and it would have been exactly the same. But like she just knocks it out of the park. It's such a good performance and Maurice is such a good character. And like just like the whole little gang that we have that goes on the little like side quest. I hate to call it an adventure because it is so like dour and sad.
right.
But it goes on the adventure. But like they're just so
It's just
good.
Bilbo Baggins. I'm going
on an adventure.
What a weird movie
because
that
like
was.
half of his friends
Me,
are dead.
the first
He's like a
ape
dick.
prince. I'm going on an adventure, Papa.
I propose that all apes accompany me on an adventure.
My wife has been murdered. And I'm going to kill the man who slew them. But anyway. But like I love that scene and like where they all come up and they're like, we're not letting you go alone, and you're like, yeah. But like just like their dynamics are so good because I love Luca. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna protect you because you've always protected me, and you're like, oh, I love it. And then Rocket, where he's like, I know exactly what you're going through. I know what it is to lose a son, and you're like, oh, Rocket did lose his son. It's so good.
True.
He did do that.
Oh,
And then Maurice
did
is like,
happen.
I'm here to make sure that you come back because I'm your cool, smart friend. And you're just like, oh, the gang, all the boys. We're gonna fucking
are back.
dunk on Winter. We're gonna fucking destroy Winter.
That's all. But Winter is so sad. Like that is such
He's a sad character.
Because he was
Judas.
just scared. He was scared. Judas.
Judas, no.
And I brought murder. That's classic. It's a classic line.
That is so fucking funny. That is like,
He's
is
like
that
driving on the highway?
Yeah.
That
like, I don't
too.
know if there is a better setup punchline joke than that has ever been written. Like,
How
that
many
is so
car
funny on
accidents?
so many levels.
How many car accidents do you think that Vine caused? Because I can name like a handful of like classic iconic Vines that were all recorded while someone is like speeding down the highway.
Right?
Yeah. You'll never be shit, Duck. You just like
Like
your
your
father.
father. God, this is our reoccurring segment on the show where we just say Vines
Vines
that
you
we
like.
like. It happens all the time.
Okay, but just one more when Bo Burnham is like, Don't Stop Believing comes on. He's like, this is my jam. Wait, turn that song off. And he has like a jar of jam. He's like, this is my jam.
I just want to appreciate Headquarter Productions in the chat who said Caesar Blart Mall Ape. Just they started talking about Paul Blart for some
boy.
reason.
Paul Blart Mart.
Paul Blart. Martport. My hair's going crazy.
Okay, where are we at? Do we have anything else to say before we start to wrap up? Like,
Just, it's so good.
It's
Just
great.
watch it. Just
Yeah, I
watch
don't
it.
know why you don't like it if you don't like it. If you
If
don't
anybody
like
says
it,
it's a bad movie, they're lying to you and they're not your friend. They're just trying to lead you astray.
So
Like, do
true.
this. Just
I don't know.
like
Here's
this.
what I have to say. I just went and got bubble tea, boba, if you will, with my friend. And he does not like the bubbles. He didn't like the tapioca pearls. He doesn't like the texture.
okay.
I mean, same.
And he said, you know what? I'm going to try them again, just in case. And you know what? He didn't like them. But
Where are you going with this?
But he tried.
he tried. So if you say you don't like the Planet of the Apes movies, maybe try watching them again. Because you know, the three of us, we love them.
I think if you have something that you don't like, and not something that you hate, but something that you're like, I don't know, I'm just like not that excited about it. I don't think it's that good. I didn't like it. Watch it with somebody who loves it, and like you will like it. Like at the very least, you will like it or have an appreciation for why somebody else likes it. And I think that's like the most important thing to have in a discussion about film, to like have an understanding of why somebody else likes it.
Yeah.
Because then when you have an opinion, you're like, here's why I don't like it. It's a valid point, and not just I don't like it and it's stupid and why does anybody like it? You know, like to just like
testimonial. I didn't want to watch. I didn't want to watch the Power Rangers movie
and just have a good time. Yeah, we tied Keisha to a chair.
Sure.
Watch the Power Rangers movie.
But what happened was we kept talking about the Power Rangers movie so much that by the time we watched it, I already knew how much you guys liked the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
And so with my fresh eyes, I said, you know what? This is actually good. This is
You know what? I'm gonna speak my truth.
Is it Citizen Kane? No.
Yes.
But I don't want it to be Citizen Kane. Why would you want it to be Citizen Kane?
Rangers.
I want
I
Power
want
Rangers.
teens to get hit by a train with their magical little cookies.
And I want Shakespearean biblical monkeys.
Right.
That's what I want.
Yeah, that's a lot
good.
of what I really sincerely want to be able to do with this podcast is like, there is a lot of things, there are plenty of movies that I've been pretty lukewarm on that I have sort of come to love just over the span of like hearing really passionate and articulate people describe what they like about it. I think Batman Returns is a perfect example of that. I spent the first Terminator movie also. I spent a lot of time being like really kind of whatever about both of those movies until I, you know, went to film school and listened to people talk about them and had friends who loved them and listened to podcasts about them. And now I fucking love Batman Returns. Batman Returns fucking rules. And I don't think that's like a failing on my part. I don't think that's me like compromising my self or whatever. Yeah. Because it is always more fun and better to like something than not to like something. Yeah. And there are ways unless it's racism. If you don't like racism, try your best to continue to not like racism. I will go on record as saying that.
I don't think people should like racism.
But like, no, at this point in the world, like, a movie is probably somebody's favorite movie. Like a movie that you don't like. My brother's favorite Batman movie has always been Batman Returns. Right. And I remember like my nephew at one point was like, Batman Returns sucks. It's so stupid. Which is like the discourse that you hear all the time online because it's very campy, very cheesy. And Val Kilmer it's not his best performance. But that's my brother loves it. It's fun. It's fun, and Jim Carrey is funny in it, and the jokes.
And Joel Schumacher is so
I was talking about.
To feel like that.
Just so we're being clear, Batman Forever is the one with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. Sorry. Batman Returns was the one I was talking about with Danny DeVito.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
My bad. Which is also a good one.
They're both good.
Also good.
Batman Returns.
Also, Danny DeVito. Was the penguin was in Space Jam.
True. Still relevant.
He really was.
Okay, before we start to wrap up, how do you guys...
DeVito's so good in that role.
It's not Danny DeVito.
They're having a discussion in the chat about...
Space Jam!
They're having a discussion in the chat about whether or not Paul Blart or Caesar would win in a fight, and obviously it's Caesar. He's a fucking ape. He would go
kill.
fucking ape shit
He
on
would
Paul Blart's
rip his
ass.
heart out of his body.
He would rip his eyes out. He would chew into his
Paul
neck.
Blart is not allowed to have a gun. Caesar is allowed to have
Right.
a gun.
He's allowed to have a gun, I
I don't
suppose.
think that they would war. I don't think they would war, is what I think.
True,
I
they would
think they would be
respect each
friends.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Caesar is too distinguished.
I mean,
I don't
in
think
this
Paul Blart is
universe-
distinguished enough.
In
but-
this universe, Paul Blart has already farted on a sandwich and ate it and gotten the monkey disease, though, right?
Yeah.
Like he's
Hey, we're the
definitely
monkey.
dead.
Look, look,
he was
look.
definitely
Yeah.
the first in the ground.
Here's my take. I don't think there is a human on Earth who could hold their own against any chimpanzee without special
It's true.
training. I think
Yeah.
a person
Fucking
I think a person could hypothetically train to fight a chimpanzee.
That's what the Navy SEALs are, actually. That's all they're doing.
But, like,
it's just training you how to fight monkeys.
You put Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a cage with a chimpanzee from the zoo who is angry. Like, rest in peace, Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Yeah,
okay?
you're fucking dead.
Chimpanzees will destroy you.
A chimpanzee with the brain of an
Of a
angel.
man.
Right, true. Like, a
Dead.
chimpanzee is nothing to fuck around with, Dwayne.
But the
I mean, 'cause-
thing is that Caesar has compassion for humanity.
That's true. I
And
almost wonder if that would make him
Fatherhood.
easier to fight than a feral chimp.
Well, yeah, because
I
a feral
think
chimp
so.
ain't gonna hold anything back, and that's why babies
Right.
are so strong. Babies and chimpanzees don't know what they got in them, and they're gonna use all of it.
Right.
All the parts when Caesar's eyes are just red from crying. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. It's a good
sad.
performance.
Good performance. The tears are actually Andy Serkis's tears. That's
they?
the thing.
I
Yeah,
will
they
say,
are.
though, cinema sins. Chimpanzees, their tear ducts don't work the same way as
They
humans
said that.
do.
Don't be tripping, Kezia. They said that.
But also, that begs the question. This is just biology at this point. Do you think
Now
if
we're
apes,
just into
if
science.
apes were like had the sensitivities and the emotional capacity as much as humans do, maybe they would cry. Who knows why we cry?
I don't know.
Prince
We
only,
did
probably.
We did do some research once and find out that a gorilla could definitely not ride a horse, and like that's fair.
They say
Yeah,
that. They
it's
say that
true.
one too, but not in a funny way. Which
Right,
is like
yeah.
gets me.
When we do it,
It's
it's
like,
a
yeah,
bit.
I had that complaint too, but I like made a joke out of it. You just like the horse is broken.
I don't know. Maybe the virus made horses really strong.
That's
you
true. It has different effects on apes and people. Probably has a different effect on horses too. Gave them better
Buff
legs.
as hell.
Yeah.
Checkmate,
And
Davey.
So shut up, because you know what's cool is when a gorilla rides a horse.
Yeah, it's sick. Rules.
It is cool. It's sick as hell, and he's got a gun. Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
And his friend
I'm
is
sorry.
Jesus. Fuck yeah!
Sorry.
Not
His
Jesus.
friend is Moses, Adeline.
I'll he's both. He gets crucified.
No,
No,
no, no. He
no.
does not get crucified.
He's not
No,
Christ.
he makes it. He makes it to the promised land.
Yeah.
But then he dies.
I'm saying
Moses
there's
didn't even do
multiple
that.
illusions going on. I'm not saying he's not Moses. I'm just saying he's both.
Okay.
He has the
Boo.
range.
When he takes his friend down from the whatever
Right.
cross.
The cross,
Yeah.
the X.
It's
Yeah.
cross. So
The
good.
X.
That's so good. It's such a good scene. This movie's chock full of good scenes. Please watch it,
really
Mujumbo. Please watch it.
Please.
I'll give you my YouTube password so that you can stream it for the next 24 hours.
YouTube password. So, Kezia, why don't you start doing some plugs?
Pluggy the plug plug.
Pluggity plug plug.
Hair
plug, plug,
plugs. Maybe that's a joke.
Oh.
What? Why is that the joke?
I know, just word association.
Oh, because
that brain's just weird like that.
That ape does need some hair plugs, if that's
True.
what you're talking about.
True.
Because, what a poor buddy. Anyway,
What a good boy
thanks
that
for
ape is.
listening.
What a good boy.
Good boy. He's not a bad boy. He's just like Wreck-It Ralph.
True.
He's just like Wreck-It
Mm.
Ralph.
Just like Wreck-It Ralph.
Moses is
I
to
need his
Caesar as Wreck-It Ralph is to Bad Ape.
There we go.
This movie is so derivative. Maybe he should come up with an original
He
plot.
just ripped
Original
off Wreck-It
character.
Ralph.
They straight up stole from Wreck-It Ralph the whole time. You know who's Vanellope von Schweetz? Maurice.
Such a Vanellope.
Oh, who has Pixlexia now? That's what I thought.
Pigs legs. I forgot about that.
That's what the humans are dying of, actually.
Pixlexia? It's
Dyslexia.
the monkey disease.
That's just so funny when they're like, "Oh my god, Vanellope, you're such a glitch," and she's like, "I'm not a glitch. I just have pixlexia."
Right.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Go ahead and follow us on Twitch.
Smash
Subscribe to
that
us.
like button.
Smash the like button.
Destroy it.
Vote on who you think the winning warring ape would be on our Twitter, which you can follow at NoNerdsPod. You can follow Jackson at Jepperpack. You can follow Adeline at Hollaback Horse, and you can follow me if you can find me. Ooh. Join our Discord. We've been talking about different trailers that have been dropping lately. We've been talking about the Mysterious Benedict Society.
Yeah, a little bit.
We've been talking.
A little bit.
We haven't been talking. We've been talking about applesauce. We've been talking about
Big
lots of
applesauce.
stuff. So join our Discord. The link is in our bio.
Yes. And hey, if you're watching on Twitch right now and you're not following us, follow now. Do it quickly. Don't think about it. Follow us.
Follow.
Don't
It's
think.
free. It's free.
Because we are looking to get, what's it called? Associate, right?
Affiliate.
And we gotta have
Affiliate.
50 followers. We're only 18
Yeah.
away, so let's do it.
Associate managers.
We're gonna be assistant managers on
Yeah.
Twitch.
We won't be streaming next week because
Right, taking a week off.
We're taking a week off. It's summertime busyness. I have to drive 8 hours tomorrow. It's gonna be great. I'm very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson's going on vacation, and
True.
Adeline is moving
Living
away.
life. Yeah.
But you don't get to know where.
Moving to South America.
That's not true. South America.
My friends are like, what?
Surprise! We're announcing it here.
I'm
Anyway.
announcing it on the podcast and I'm moving to Wisconsin.
So
And you can't stream in Wisconsin.
No,
But-
it's illegal.
I'll say for now that the movie that we will be covering the week we come back, 2 weeks from
Next.
now, will be The Suicide Squad. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, the new one.
James has a gun.
He does have a
You
gun.
guys, they're
And
gonna
I don't think he
freaking
should have it, honestly.
let King Shark.
After what he
King
said
Shark.
on Twitter, I don't think he should have that gun.
Stop it.
Okay.
What's the polka dot man's name though? What's the polka dot man's name?
Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man?
That's not his name
Yes,
though.
it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then also arm come off man.
Arm fall off, lad.
Arm fall off lad.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
We're
like
playing,
these are
playing
things.
all the hits.
I'm so excited. That's the weird shit. That's what I've been hoping
Give me
for.
that weird
That's what I've
shit.
been
Yeah.
praying for.
It's so
Put
funny.
it in.
That like it's getting like insanely good like reviews right now, and it is just wild to me that DC seemingly was literally just like, let's just try again. Let's just do that movie again. Just take
What
another
if
swing
we just
at
did
it.
it good this time?
Yeah,
What if we
like-
did a good job?
What if instead of doing a bad job
They're
like we did last time, we just took another swing at it and tried to do it better instead?
Just good.
Like, I guess people do like when there's a giant man shark. I guess that's fine. All right. Also, Headquarter Productions said that they have officially decided that Caesar would win or Paul Blart would win.
They're all very-
notification went away.
Yes,
They're
I
all
didn't
very
read it.
pro Blart. They're all very pro Blart in the chat, but they're not taking it seriously.
Listen,
They're
They're
all
not
jokes
taking
and
it-
memes
they're
over
not
there.
applying science.
No.
I'm just saying. Just because Paul Blart could doesn't mean that he would.
He would.
And also, I
Paul
don't think
Blart, do you think Paul Blart has the heart to kill that sad?
I think
old
they'd be
Batman
allies.
Sea-Man?
I think they'd be allies.
I don't think he could do it.
So would
I
you
just
guys
don't-
like to hear a 1-star review of War for the Planet of the Apes?
No.
So
I'm too fragile. I've heard too many CinemaSins opinions in this round.
This one comes from CinemaSins. Oh my god, why are they monkeys and they're talking?
this review comes from imdb.com, and this review is titled God Awful. Long, predictable, and boring. Tried to squeeze every emotion out of the ape faces, and lots of stupid symbolism. I regret I didn't have my CPAP machine with me. Little or no laughs could have broken the monotony. I had to stay since I was the driver. Some of the preteens in the theater seemed to enjoy it, so that's fine for them, I guess. My biggest regret was that the master copy of this movie wasn't stored on a hard drive that was smashed by Hillary.
Huh. Wow.
What?
A very,
With her
a
emails.
very timely review.
What
A
film?
very timely review.
What film is that a reference to?
It's a shame
No,
that
no,
Hillary
no, no.
Clinton didn't
It's
smash.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see.
it's a
It's a
2016
2017
political joke.
banger.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's hilarious.
All the hits. Now that's what I
That-
call 2017.
Guess what? This movie is good for tweens. It's good for everyone
True.
who loves
Yeah.
symbolism.
No, this is a Gen Z movie. It's not for you. Get a
Yeah,
life,
sorry.
boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Leave your
Yeah.
CPAP machine at home.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Like
I
an
wish I
idiot.
brought my CPAP machine. Okay, why are you? That's a good one. That really makes me respect your review when
That
you
is-
say when you bring your CPAP machine into things.
Like, what a banger of a sentence to drop halfway through an IMDb review. It made me wish I brought my CPAP machine with me. Excuse me?
Okay.
I mean,
Are you
not
okay?
that it's a bad thing that you need to use a CPAP machine, but
Yeah.
like, why are you bragging about using your
It's a
CPAP
CPAP
machine?
Yeah.
This is like a
Do
weird
you
thing.
need to use
You're
a
like,
CPAP machine?
Wait, makes me wish I'd brought my inhaler. I was so out of breath. You're like, it's fine, but why are you bragging about it? Like,
Makes me
okay.
wish I brought my crutches.
I should have.
Like, I wish I could have crutched myself out of there.
I had to
Okay.
take an insulin
Cool.
shot halfway through the movie because of how bad it was.
It drained my blood sugar. Okay,
Sucked it right out.
sure.
All right, say what's up. My name's Jackson McMurray,
My name's Adeline McMurray.
My name is Kezia Rhodes.
and this has been No Nerds Allowed. We nailed it that time. We got that.
That was so good. It flowed so well.
I got that flow. You forgot to say the thing that you said that you were always
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
though.
I usually say it.
We don't
Keep it
have to.
icy.
I don't have to.
Keep it icy.
We don't have to play
Ice
all the
man.
hits.
I feel
We're doing
comfortable.
the B-sides.
I feel confident enough in my masculinity
Yeah.
that I don't have to say "keep it salty out there, sailors" today
Because that's why we say it. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's beautiful.
to reaffirm my fragile
I
masculinity.
don't care who you are. That's beautiful.
It's true. It's
I
true.
mostly say it because it makes me think about Willem Dafoe. It's just nice to be
Ah.
reminded every once in a while.
It's fair. It's really fair. I'm
Have a
gonna-
spot in my
Oh,
week where
Willem.
it's like, think about Willem Dafoe. And you're like, yeah.
I have a spot in my week where I'm like, think about when Robert Pattinson screamed into that huge light bulb.
Yeah, fuck yeah. God, the lighthouse rips so hard.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah, go for it. Adeline, have you seen The Lighthouse?
I will.
I haven't, and I
It's
know
not
it's real
bad.
good, and I know I'll have a fun time.
It's not scary. It's
Yeah,
not,
no,
Oh, I
it's
know.
not like gory.
I know. I don't want to see a mermaid vagoo.
Me-
is the thing.
Oh, come
it's
on.
fine.
What's wrong with a mermaid
tasteful.
vagoo?
Yes, you do.
It's tasteful.
Why are you so afraid of a mermaid vagoo?
Well, I watched the part that you were watching, Jackson, where he gets like eaten by seagulls, and I was like, that's gross.
That's like the end. That's
Yeah,
like the
well,
last shot
yeah,
of the movie.
It's part of
Yeah,
it.
it's gross.
It's part of it.
It's a part of the experience. What do you have against mermaid vagoos? You loved Call Me by Your Sea Monster. What is the movie?
The Shape of
Yeah,
Water.
it's great.
The Shape of
The
Water.
Shape of Water.
Call Me a Sea Monster.
Call
That's
Me
my
a
king.
Sea
The
Monster.
movie.
Call me a sea monster. Call me by
That's
your
just-
sea monster.
That's just what Luca is. We got him. We got him,
No.
folks.
Uh,
Folks, we got him.
there's a bit at
We
the
got
beginning of
him,
The
Joe.
Lighthouse where,
They turned the house on.
like, Robert Pattinson's trying to, like, paint the outside of the lighthouse, and he's, like, on, like, a pulley that Willem Dafoe's on the other side of, and Willem Dafoe's just, like, fucking jerking him around, and he's like, fucking stop! And then he just falls off onto a bunch of rocks, and, like, paint goes everywhere. It's so good.
What?
It's a good film.
It's funny.
Good flick.
Okay,
for
did
each
we get
other.
her?
It's just as much of a comedy as it is a horror movie, as it is a psychological thriller. That's why it's
There
good.
we go. Eat your brains. That's all I know.
I don't know
No,
if it's
why'd you
exactly
spill your beans?
Beans. I know there's beans, there's a lighthouse, and a mermaid, and she's just got her vagoo out in front of everybody.
I don't like that word. I don't like it. It's so much
Sometimes I
worse than
say it-
vagina.
Sometimes I say Visagna, but sometimes it's just too much work.
Vagina.
Visagna, like lasagna.
Vagine.
I just like to
Vagine
I
is
like to
good.
put an N-Y over the N. I like vagina.
Vagina.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say vagina on Twitch? I hope so. I would be
Wait.
upset if we couldn't.
Why would we not be able to say vagina?
There are some stupid words that you're not allowed to say. I will not say
Right,
them
yeah.
because I don't know that I can.
We're not
but
gonna
you
get
know.
reported.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Headquarter
Yeah, get us to
Productions.
50 so we can get recorded.
Get us to 50 so we can get it taken away.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to go to your birthday party?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. It's not my birthday.
It's Leo
party.
season, Headquarter
It's Jackson's
Productions.
birthday party.
It's big Leo energy. Well, it's almost. Wait, what day
It's
is your
almost
birthday,
the
Jackson?
8th.
Yeah, it's August 8th. It's coming up.
Yeah.
I
Happy
know the-
birthday,
I know the
Tabby. You're
date.
probably not listening because you're
No.
at your party.
It's on Sunday.
Sunday.
This Sunday?
That's exciting.
No, next Sunday.
Well, not this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I was asking.
Jackson, where are you going on vacation? I forgot to ask that.
I'm just taking a solo trip to New York because I wanted to.
Oh.
It's gonna rule.
Oh, that's sick.
You're gonna get mugged.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Heart Mart.
I'm gonna shack up with Ben from the first play, and I'm just gonna hang
Oh,
out in New
cool.
York for a few days because I have some extra money from
That's
giving
sick.
blood, and I was like, airline flights are cheap.
Blood
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
I've got my blood money. I could just go hang out in New York for a few days just because I wanted to.
We got those connections, son.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a wrap. Thank you guys. You guys were fun in the chat today. We don't always have this fun
we
in
love
the
it when you
chat.
guys are chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
couldn't
all.
see it this week. Usually I can, but if I did it, I would. My connection could not handle it, so I'm sorry.
So that's all. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the Suicide Squad, and
Not Suicide Squad.
catch you later.
The-
Bye.